Girls at my show wanna role play. I'm so beta, I eat steak on the gold plate. I knock me some. We do is grind all day and try to get the money up. All we do is hit the club and tell some bitches go. Don't hop in the whip, G.O.D. all my bros here. Ain't worried about your man, don't go there. We can smoke all day. Young rich nigga, that's safe to say. And I came for the bag. The bag so good I had to save me a gram. Real dope boy, just the way that I am. Yeah, I pray to the man that I'm safe when I live.
All right, so I'm here with Mike, the owner of WNC. He came out to California, paid me a quick little visit, and I wanted to ask him some questions. Maybe y'all could get to know him a little bit better. I'm sure you're familiar with his flower. WNC is one of the top hemp suppliers in the game. All right, what's up, Mike, man?
What's up, Shabazz? Thanks for having me.
Yeah, I'm glad to see you here in California. I know you've been here a few times, but still, it's cool. Link up with you this time and everything. Pay a quick little visit and everything. I think the people had a few questions for you. All right, so why don't you give me a quick rundown on what is your history and experience with cannabis, marijuana, hemp, whatever. How did you start WNC and why did you start WNC?
I got introduced to cannabis at a young age, like many of us, and fell in love with the plant. Throughout my years and experience with cannabis, it grew to be a very big part of my life. In 2018, we were able to participate in the hemp and CBD program in North Carolina. So I saw an opportunity to bring all of the experience I had with me to the hemp scene, specializing in high quality flower.
Okay, and so tell me, well, I think one thing a lot of people are wondering is, are you a marijuana user? Did you ever use marijuana? Or did you start your journey with cannabis with hemp?
So I was a previous marijuana user prior to hemp. I still do consume recreationally from time to time. My experience in the marijuana scene does transfer into my quality expectations for hemp. So things I look for when I'm selecting what strains for us to carry are the conditions they were grown in. We want to make sure that all of our flower that we offer was grown using organic practices. We also select strains that are relatively high in terpenes, have nice density, offer some sort of variety of effects. Whenever selecting, I also like to choose strains that I would personally enjoy.
Yeah, and so y'all know I'm the same way too. I started off in the marijuana industry and I bring that into my opinions and everything I do with hemp. And you already know I compare and contrast, and you could tell, I think in my opinion, you can tell when somebody, their first foray into cannabis is not hemp because they have the better quality stuff. They're trying to get to that level that marijuana is. And I think I could definitely see that with WNC. Okay, and is WNC, is that your full-time job?
It is. So in the beginning, I was working full-time at an automotive shop while building WNC CBD. And there became a time where WNC CBD was demanding more of my time, and so I started working less and less at the automotive shop and started transferring into WNC full-time.
So we all remember, I'm sure you know, y'all the viewers, we remember when WNC, you didn't really have a website we could order from. You had your Instagram account and we had to DM you on there and order stuff, and PayPal or Venmo or whatever. It was kind of shady, but it wasn't shady. But what was it like transitioning from that in those early stages? What were you going through then that it was like that, and transitioning into the hemp powerhouse that you are now?
You know, it was a lot of work. It had its challenges. In the beginning, WNC was mainly a wholesale distribution company. Spent a lot of time, a lot of countless hours calling stores, calling farms, making connections. At one point in time, it seemed like I was swinging and missing, and almost gave up. And I'm extremely glad I didn't.
I'm glad too, because WNC is a household name in the hemp industry now, and who knows, if you would have gave that up, things would be a lot different right now. And as we all know, WNC is a relatively successful company. I reviewed them for years now on the channel. They have some really good stuff. Speaking of good stuff, a lot of people want to know, how do you go about selecting, vetting, what process happens for a grower to get their flower on your site?
So the first thing I like to do is just establish a personal relationship with that farm. I'll reach out, typically set aside at least an hour to have a conversation with them, get to know them personally, get to know what their operations like, what their growing practices are like, in which point, before even discussing price, I like to get a sample in hand and confirm the quality meets my standards. And you know, from there we just discuss business, and we like to be able to offer our farmers a fair market value price for their flower.
Short and simple though, you want the best stuff. You want the best of the best. You're not carrying no swag, no Mexican brick type of stuff. WNC wants to supply everybody with some top shelf. I think that's the vibe that we get from WNC.
Yep. Hands down. Yep.
All right. Okay, so one question that a lot of people had, not me specifically because I don't really mess with this stuff too much. A lot of people mentioned the high THCA flower. Now, at one point in time, like a year ago, you carried a lot of high THCA flower, and recently, not so much. So what's up with that?
So in 2022, the USDA put out a rule that states that hemp has to meet a qualification of being below 0.3% total THC 30 days prior to harvest. Most of these higher THCA strains are hitting, 1% plus during that time frame, so it would make them ineligible to be grown.
So basically, it's a legislative issue, and Mike's not trying to break any laws. He doesn't want the DEA busting his doors down, knocking stuff over, seizing money and everything. He's trying to keep it legal, trying to keep it compliant, and mostly a CBD dominant focus type thing anyways is the roots of what everything's about, right?
Yep.
Exactly. Okay, Mike, so what is the future of WNC looking like? We've seen it grow, like we mentioned, from the early Instagram DM to order days to what it is now. You're not stopping anytime soon. So what is the future of WNC looking like? Do you have any future plans? Are you expanding, upgrading? Is this going to become an empire? Tell me about it.
The short answer is yes. We are continuing to expand through the support of this extremely great hemp community. We've been able to expand into a new and larger warehouse for online fulfillment. We've been able to hire on more staff. We have also partnered with some local guys, and we're going to be opening up a new downtown Asheville store location where we will be growing our own flower.
Y'all been talking about that. Is WNC going to start growing their own stuff in-house? And I think you've had a few like contract grows and stuff. You've had a few contract grows and stuff, but you're going to actually be cultivating and growing your own stuff in-house. That's dope. What type of strains? What are you going to be looking for? Are we going to be seeing the Oregon CBD, or are you going to be growing some hot stuff?
So we're going to be growing some really awesome stuff. More than likely, we're going to be reaching out to you and just trying to bring some new, very unique genetics on board. Stuff more gassy, more pungent. Open the bag, you're like, wow.
The skunk, the gas, the kush.
Yep. So yeah, that's what you can expect. We're going to be growing in-house. We're going to do 3 perpetual grow rooms. We'll have a mother clone room. We will also be putting this on display for our retail customers. There'll be a big viewing window where everybody in our store can check out what we're doing.
Okay, so when they open that, if you're an Asheville, right?
Yeah.
Asheville, North Carolina. Make sure you go check that out. I'll for sure be making my way over there sometime to see that. North Carolina, right? Not South Carolina.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, North Carolina. You got
Okay,
it.
all right, North Carolina. I've never been to the East Coast, so you know. Now, you mentioned that you hired some staff and everything, so have you been basically doing it yourself this whole time, fulfilling orders, shipping them out and everything, responding to emails?
Yep. So for the first 2 years, from 2019 to roughly middle of 2021, I was doing everything from packaging orders, responding to emails, doing my own accounting, managing my own Instagram account. Of course, with the help of my wife, she is, my number one support in all of this. Middle of 2021, I was able to hire our first employee that was able to work part-time packaging orders to bring some relief off of my plate.
All right, so that's crazy. It's been a one-man show pretty much up to this point. And I mean, your shipping times are good. Your customer service is good. I know somebody on Reddit or maybe Instagram mentioned how they weren't satisfied with their order. They hit you up, you personally responded and made it right. You sent them some better stuff and they're extremely satisfied. They wanted me to let you know they're really happy with that. So, dope. All right, a hot question that a lot of people have had is, why did your prices increase? So in the beginning, I'm sure a lot of y'all remember, it was a flat fee for an ounce, including shipping, and that was back in the DM to order, small operation type thing. And since you've grown, your prices have gotten a little bit higher. Not extreme, but a couple bucks have been tacked on and everything. Why is that? And do you foresee being able to bring those prices back down a little bit in the future?
Great question. So in the beginning, WNC CBD was being operated out of a home office, so there was no overhead as far as rent, insurance, employees. It was all being done by myself. We've moved WNC CBD out of the home office. We are now in a 1,000 square foot warehouse fulfillment and distribution center. We also have multiple employees that are fully insured, and we've been continually able to expand our selection of indoor flower, and we want to take care of our farmers.
So basically what I'm getting is you went completely legit, and we're in America. There's a lot of taxation involved in that, insurance, everything, and that costs, so a higher overhead and everything. Do you think that you'll reach a tipping point and you'll be able to grow and get the overhead costs down and maybe be able to lower prices back again in the future?
It's definitely something to aspire to. I think as WNC CBD continues to grow in volume, we'll be able to offer some seasonal discounts, which will be able to work towards back that happy medium.
And again, I don't think WNC's prices are crazy. If they were, I would have told you about it already. They're in line. Your prices are in line with like the other top shelf indoor suppliers. I think people are antsy with that one just because you started off lower and then went higher. So I think that's why there's a controversy about that. But sure, the prices aren't extremely high. They're fair, I say. All right, and it's getting dark out here, but one thing I wanted to ask before we end this, is there anything cool, new, or unique coming from WNC in the near future? I know you already talked about you guys are going to start growing. You moved into a new fulfillment center and everything, so I think that's that's probably the answer to the question. But anything besides that?
Besides that, we have some new 3-to-1 and 2-to-1 hemp-derived Delta-9 gummies that we're going to be releasing soon, and we also got a bunch of fire indoor coming, so make sure to check out Shabazz's channel, because we're going to make sure to send him his way and see if we get that seal of approval.
Dope. What about vape carts or anything like that? Is that anything you guys are going to be doing in the future?
We definitely will have vape carts in our store. As far as shipping them through the online store, we just need to make sure that the infrastructure is in place to make sure that we're doing it lawfully.
Yeah. Y'all know there's a big gap in the vape cart space in the hemp industry and community. There's definitely not enough of it, so That would be cool if WNC releases some good, some concentrate, some live resin type of vape carts or something. If they do, you already know, you're gonna see it here. All right, well, as you see, it's getting late, it's getting dark, and we are in the middle of Los Angeles. Not the safest place to be standing out on a sidewalk at nighttime. Anyways, we got things to do. It's getting late and everything. Mike's out here on vacation and everything. I don't want to take up too much of his time. It was really cool of you to do this and meet up with me.
It's been a pleasure. I appreciate you having me on the channel. It's nice to finally get to meet you in person. I know we've had a lot of correspondence over the years.
Oh yeah, for sure, for sure. This is a major player in the hemp industry, and it's dope to be able to meet up with you and ask you a few questions in person. And even before we, did this whole little Q&A thing, we've been talking for a while. We sat here, we were drinking some coffee and stuff. We were talking. There's a lot going on, a lot of stuff in the future, and it was just really cool to link up with you and do this, man.
Likewise.
Yeah. Pleasure to meet you, man. Enjoy the rest of your vacation and everything, and have safe travels back home.
Cool. Thank you to everybody watching the channel, and I look forward to hearing from you soon.
All right, and if y'all are wondering anything else from me or Mike, just leave a comment down in the comments. If it's good, if it's worthy, I'll forward it to Mike, and maybe he'll email me back an answer or something, and we could get those answered too. All right, y'all, I'm gonna see y'all in the next video. Remember, check the landing page for links and coupon codes. Check out the merch. I got on some WNC merch. Mike got it on too. Check out the WNC merch. We got the the T-Rex skull going on. That's dope. I'm gonna see y'all in the next video though. Peace.